Hello YouTube, it's me, Ash, tier of the Over Yu-Gi-Oh! League, and this episode, I'm doing trains. For those of you out there that know me, I love trains. And I'm not even joking when I say I have, let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Doras, a load of Night Express Knights, a ton of Derek Cranes, and a load of revolving switchyards. And these are probably just a video of my folder at some point when I've got that working. But for now, this is a deck I call Shaddoll line. And yeah, so anyone who's seen the original Japanese Power Rangers may have seen Resha Sentai Tokuja, which is a series about trains. It didn't get an English release, but if you like trains, trains. So roll along to the next station of this video. Time for the deck profile. So Shadow line is trains, Kaijus, and Shaddolls. I'm going to go over the tokens a sec. So I've got a Japanese Gustav Max with a red rarity for some reason, which looks really cool. I'm going to zoom in for a bit. A red rarity on the name, which looks really cool. A token that my girlfriend made me. And a trading card signed by Simba, the Lion Kid, at a wrestling UPW event. Simba, Simba. So to the main deck. We have 3 Night Express Knight. Bit self-explanatory. It's a level 10 train that you can normal summon without tributing, and it's a 0/0, or it's a 0 attack, 3k defense. Next up is 3 Heavy Freight Train Derek Cranes. It's another level 10 Earth Machine. When you summon a level 10 Earth Machine, actually no, it's just an Earth Machine. Oh, cool. When you summon an Earth Machine, you can special summon this from your hand, but it halves its attack and defense, so it becomes a 14 1000 instead of a 28 2k. When this thing is detached and exceeds material, you can pop something. And this is amazing for some combos in this deck, which I will go over probably near the end. So that's Heavy Freight Train Derek Crane. 3 Ruffian Rail Cars. I mean, main reason you play this is just normal summon, deal 500 points of burn damage to your opponent, and then not do your battle phase because you can't now. You play this because it is a searcher, so when this card's sent to the graveyard, which you will be sending it to the graveyard by quite a few effects in this deck, you can search for a level 10 Earth Machine at your end phase. I keep forgetting about this effect. Always remember this effect because it will help you. So that's the train lineup. So you got 3 Night Express Knight, 3 Derek Crane, and 3 Ruffian Rail Car. The next leg of this journey is Shaddolls. So we have 1 Shaddoll Dragon. Main reason you'll play Shaddolls in this is just send them to the graveyard for their effect and fusion summoning. So Shaddoll Dragon, it's got a flip effect of target one of your opponent's monsters, return it to hand, so it's compulse when flipped. The effect you'll mostly be using with this is when it's sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you target a spell and trap and pop it. I run one of those because actually it's the only, bad enough as I say, it's probably the only back row destruction I have this. This is basically just a locals deck. I will not suggest you running this for a big event, but I will anyway. 2 Squamata, its flip effect, target one monster on the field and destroy it. That's the flip effect. The effect you'll be using is when this card's sent to the graveyard, you can send another Shaddoll card from the deck to the graveyard. So you can activate a dragon or any of the other monsters that are coming up. 2 Shaddoll Hedgehog, flip effect, which you probably won't be using. You add a Shaddoll spell or trap from your deck to your hand. Its effect when sent to the graveyard, you can add a Shaddoll card from a Shaddoll monster from the deck, except Shaddoll Hedgehog. Oh yeah, also another thing to mention, you can only use one each Shaddoll effect per turn. And the main thing you'll probably be sending with Squamata is Shaddoll Beast. I'm running 2 of these. Lets you draw a card. Otherwise, if it's flip summoned, again, a very, 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 very rare time you will, but it might come up if you get Flying Seed. It's, when it's flipped face up, it becomes a lesser version of Graceful Charity. It's a draw 2, discard 1. So those are your Shaddolls. I mean, this deck isn't too pricey. It's like... it's a low-budget deck for the most part. Kaijus, you run 3 Jizukiru, the Star Destroyer, because it's a 33 beat stick, and it's a level 10, so you can special summon level 10s, which is the main thing of this deck. Then you run one each, one of Kumongus, that's it. The Sticky String Kaiju, one Doggoran, the Mad Flame Kaiju, and one Gamera. In my shiny Gamera. Reason for this, you get a bit of variety when you activate Shaddoll Fusion, which I will be explaining in a minute. So those are your Kaiju lineup. And the card that everyone seems to be really confused about in this thing, Exodius, the Ultimate Forbidden Lord. Why? You can special summon this from your hand by returning all monsters in your graveyard. So it recycles a lot of things. And it's level 10. That's the main thing you use this for. It is a level 10. I run 2. So for the spell lineup, you have 3 Terraforming. You run 3 because your main card in this deck is Revolving Switchyard. Now, Revolving Switchyard has 2 effects. You can only activate one of them per turn. If a level 10 Earth Machine monster is normal or special summoned to your side of the field, except during the damage step, you can activate this effect, but your opponent takes no damage for no battle damage for the rest of the turn. You special summon a level 4 Earth. So you summon Ruffian Railcar and it becomes a level 10 for you to exceed with to all of your delight. Otherwise, the other effect, which has no drawback, you discard a card to add a level 10 Earth Machine. So Night Express Knight or Derek Crane. Quite a simple card, looks quite pretty. Wish we got it rarity bumped instead of a common. So those are your train spell and traps, or spells. To the Shaddoll lineup, we run 3 Shaddoll Fusion and an L Shaddoll Fusion. Shaddoll Fusion, polymerization for Shaddolls, except if your opponent controls a monster that was summoned from the extra deck, you can use material from the main deck. It's why you've got the Kaijus of different varieties to summon different types of L Shaddoll monsters. And L Shaddoll Fusion, it's only at 1. This is one of the few cards you'll be running in this deck that's only at 1. It's a quick play fusion card, so it means you can end up doing a few OTKs or surprisingly summoning El Shaddolls during your opponent's turn. So that's your Shaddoll lineup for spells. Kaiju lineup for spells. Believe it or not, it's 3 Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. Interrupted Kaiju Slumber is a not heavy storm. It's a dark hole that summons 2 Kaijus onto the field. Now, if it doesn't destroy anything, it just fizzles. This I found out with using Derek Crane and against an Infernoid deck that, I can't remember which monster it was, but it banished itself and the card just fizzles. So you don't get the summon. But also, except for the turn it was sent to the graveyard, you can banish it and add a Kaiju from deck to hand. Probably going to get limited, but it's a really good card. And your last generic sort of spell, Foolish Burial, you send a Shaddoll or you send a Ruffian Railcar for your search at the end of the turn. Trap lineup. You run 2 traps in this. Skill Drain and Emptiness. Emptiness self-explanatory, stops your opponent's special summon and floodgates them. Skill Drain, get another floodgate. It's hilarious to set and just normal summon on Night Express Knight. Because it Barbarosses. You summon it out, it has its stat reduction. They try and attack it, you activate Skill Drain. It's now a 3k they're running into. Derek Crane becomes a 2800. You can just build a wall and your opponent can't do anything because they can't use any monster effects. So that's the main deck lineup. Extra deck lineup. I'm running 2 of each of the trains. I've got mine in German because they're German rail cannons in German. So, going for the simpler ones, Superkanonen Panzerzug, or Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Gustav Max. Detach a material, deal 2k. Easy as that. 3k, 3k wall. Number 81, Superkanonen Panzerzug Superdora. Another rank 10 train. Both of these are actually generic rank 10, so you can use whatever level 10 monsters you want. So it's a 3-4k wall. You can, once per turn, you can detach a material, target a monster on the field. That monster is unaffected by other effects until the end of the turn. Both of these you'll be using with Derek Crane to pop stuff. Also, this thing is brilliant. You activate Interrupted Kaiju Slumber if your opponent has monsters on the field. You still got a 3-2 wall in there because this thing is unaffected by effects. Shaddoll lineup. This is going to be a bit tricky because I have one in German. I don't know what it does. I sound so professional at this point. 3 Shekinagas, 3k, 2-6, 3k, level 10 Earth Machine. Reason you run this, it's a level 10. That's why Shaddoll trains work. Once per turn, if opponent's monster effect's activated, you can discard a Shaddoll monster, negate the effect, and destroy the monster. And the thing with all Shaddolls, El Shaddolls, when it's sent to the graveyard, you add a Shaddoll spell or trap from the graveyard to your hand. This is the one I don't know. El Schatten Puppe Greister. I think it has something to do with negating special summons. It's a first ed from Mega Pack 15 in German. But again, it's got the same effect. I probably need to get a translation of this because I have 2 in German. And an El Shaddoll Winder is your last one. Actually, I might as well just go over the material. Shekinagi, you need a Shaddoll monster and an Earth. That you need a Shaddoll and a Fire, hence why you run Doggerer. And El Shaddoll Winder is 1 Dark and 1 Shaddoll monster, so basically 2 Shaddoll monsters. And both players can only special summon monsters once per turn while this card's face up on the field. It's got the same effect of spell and traps to hand. So that's train lineup and that's Shaddoll lineup. Other extra deck cards. You run the Spider Riders. Ravenous Tarantula is probably one of the most stupid cards you will run in this deck. For the reason of its attack becomes the difference between your opponent's life points and your life points. So either you can detach a material, all monsters on your opponent's side of the field with attack less than this get destroyed. So either you can equalize with your opponent or you end up being higher in life points than your opponent, just destroying them with stupid. There's also all other monsters on the field gain the same attack and defense bonus. So you can end up with something like a 12k Dora or Gustav. Right? Yeah, about 12k different. You can get all sorts of stupid stuff. Other one is number 84, Pain Gainer. It gains 200 defense and gives all monsters on your side of the field 200 defense per rank on the field. So you can overlay Pain Gainer onto Ravenous Tarantula, which then you can overlay number 77, 7 Sins. 4k, 3k. It's got 2 effects. One of them's probably going to be only useful because it usually gets destroyed or kaiju before you can use the second one. And it's detach a material from this card instead of it being destroyed by battle or effect. Its other effect is you can detach 2 materials from it the turn after it was summoned and nuke your opponent's board by banishing every monster they control and adding one of those monsters as a material. Other two extra deck cards I've got Sky Palace of Gangaridia. I don't play this. I'll probably take it out and replace it for a random rank 4. But it's a detach a material, pop it, and inflict 1,000 damage to your opponent, but it can't attack. and probably one of the most funny cards you can play in this thing, Super Dimensional Robot Galaxy Destroyer. It needs 3 level 10s, detach material, destroy all spell and trap your opponent controls, but they can't chain it. Doesn't mean they can't chain it to the summoning of the card, though. Ooh, knocking the camera. Sideboard is more for locals for me, or just events going on. So we have 2 Flying Sea, 2 Chaos Trap Hole. Flying Sea is more for Zodiac, I think it works, or they just barrage it from what I remember. 2 Chaos Trap Hole because ABC still played. Macrocosmos and Different Dimension Ground because chain it to Grass is Greener. And the ban plays on is brilliant side, or what I see is brilliant sideboard for Zodiac because they can't overlay on top of a Broad Bull or a Borbo because they can't summon a monster that's the same level or rank. 2 Anti-Spell Fragrance, 2 Imperial Iron Wall. Both these are self-explanatory apart from the Imperial Iron Walls, which I just use for Infernoid plays. A limiter removal in case there's a deck that overpowers me, and 2 system downs. So that for now is Shaddoll line, Shaddoll Kaiju Train. I'm probably going to update, and I've got another train variant or 2 which I'm going to be reviewing. So until next episode, I'll see you about.